Crank 'em up.
Welcome, Chasing Tails fans, to episode 35. We got a great one here. Someone that's been in the background of boat racing in Canada for many years. She's the director of communications at HRL Regatta Valleyfield. She owns her own company and marketing agency, Zell Agency, and the co-owner and Info Surratt, the newspaper up there. Let's go ahead and bring Janick on.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello,
What's going
welcome
on?
to Chasing Tails.
Hi, thank you. Big pleasure to be here.
So, first off, we'll jump right into tell the fans that don't know about you, some of your background, what you do for a living, everything, and how you got your start in hydroplane racing.
I started in hydroplane racing as a volunteer when I was 16. So it's been a long time. I was invited to sit on the marketing committee then, and since then I never stopped being involved. I can talk about it later, but I was at the race. I was only a couple months old with my parents, and I was betting on the races at 2 years old with my quarters. So this is how I started the hydroplane racing love. Um, I own my own company, Zell Marketing. I do have a background in public relations, marketing, and my company has about we go from 10 to 12 within the time employees. We do all marketing, website 360 in marketing communication. InfoServa is actually a news a media on the web. This has been, I think, like 4 to 5 years right now that I owe it with one of my friends. And part time, I'm a mom of a 16 years old, and I am also co-owner of an orchard, apple orchard. So I drive tractor, and I was in love with the tractor pull, the different motor. So that's it. Yeah, that's who I am.
Very
Do
cool.
you
That's
have any
awesome.
downtime? Because it sounds like you're pretty busy.
When I'm gone on holidays, I it's like if I go 100%, 110, and then when I'm on holidays, it's like turn the switch off. I think this is how I go on, and then I can keep going.
that's
Nice.
that's
Sounds
good.
pretty
Yeah,
quite busy.
it's
So
good busy.
so let's talk about starting into the PR side of boat racing itself. How did that come about, and where did you go start? We talked a little bit. You were with Jan Thorette for taking him to some of his meetings.
Yeah. Um, I started young, so I had the chance to work when we do have national TV on at Valleyfield Regattas. And before it was super different. I don't know if you remember, but we didn't have like HRL. It was more CBF that was taking care before ASHA and then HRL. So it was more CBF then that was doing all the races thing. And we had Valleyfield Regattas where I had to do the promotion. I was young, and I remembered we had the morning show to do, and it was Michelle. Then by then it was my boss, and Michelle's like, "Yeah, you need to. It works." So I didn't done the deal, and I was never afraid to go and hit a door. Like knock on a door and say, "Hey," and request stuff. I truly believe in the sport, and I truly believe that it was amazing. And John Terrett is one of my favorite racers since I'm a kiddo. So I was like, well, you know what? I need to push him by then. And so we go on. So Michelle's like, yeah, you need to give him a ride. I'm like, what? I'm about 18 to 20 years old. I'm like, I'm giving a ride like to Jean Tirette. Really? You want me to drive him? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, then going to Montreal from from small village. I was super stressed. Standard, car. I was like, oh God, I can't stall, on the right or something. It's on the back of me so hard. So whatever, we're driving on our way, and John is so nice. Like he's a gentleman, super kind, and he's talking to me, and then suddenly he looks at me driving, and then I didn't took the standard. I took the other car that we had, so I just had the two pedal to go, so
Automatic.
automatic. And he looks at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What? The way you drive? You're driving with one foot." I'm like, "Yeah, I drive with one. Like you stop." He says, "No, no, no, no. You need to practice. You need to go with both. So then when you have the speed and the wing." then you need to control. I was like, he's like, let's do this. So I'm going on the Mercier Bridge with my 2 feet, and I was like, no, this is not working. So this is how it all started in my head. I was like, how do you guys do this two at the same time? I'm lost with one. I was like, wow. So since then it stayed. Every time I see him, I'm like, he's the guy that told me, to drive with my 2 feet and just practice, like wing, then go, wing, then go. So
That's great.
that was the first time I actually met John Terret, and we did some PR together. Yeah, that's one a good story.
That is
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. And then sometimes we get in these boats, and now that ours has three pedals, and that really throws Bobby off.
I'll be nice with him because it's the beginning of the show. So
Yeah.
Let it build.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
be
the
good.
build.
Kind of like his level of rage as the show goes on. You're safe on other episodes.
I want him to be nice with me till the end.
So, sticking with the Valleyfield side of things, how have you seen the sport grow, and especially Valleyfield itself grow over the years, and kind of had their downfalls as well when like GP went away, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How was the evolution in your mind?
I think that one thing that saved Valleyfield was when they introduced the concerts at night. I think that this part bring other people in, and it draw a new crowd in, and then it's like, oh, it's the big show, it's the big entertainment, it's the big deal, and I think that this is when we kept going and we kept alive. Um, what I admire about the fan in Valleyfield is that even if GP went down, they kind of stand by. Like they truly believe in the event, um, and they truly believe on who we are. So they stayed and they trusted us on the fact that we were able to work with the GP group and then bring it back up. So I think that now seeing the grandstand, seeing I used to work on the tower used to have like a level where that was going
Hmm.
forward.
Yep, you can walk out. Yep.
Exactly. I used to work there with
Oh,
Didier 20 years ago,
oh
actually.
wow.
Hmm.
Yes. So this is how long I know Didier for. And I was the one doing all the coordination with the tower, like the results, then the MC, then all the racing starting. So this is what I was doing then. And what I've seen changing is that the crowd is younger. I think that we're drawing, like, there's more people coming in, they're younger. Um, we still have work to do. I think that the year after COVID was amazing for us. I don't know if you remember, guys, but the weather was just perfect. No
Yeah.
wind, sunny, 30. Beer was going like crazy. The sales were super good for
Yeah.
us. Like, it was just an amazing weekend, perfect weekend, and no major accident. And then when we started, I remember Emily looking at me for the Hydro 350. I don't know if it looked like a demolition derby at the beginning. It was just like, what are they doing? It was just like boom, boom. Everyone was so hype,
Yep.
I think, on coming back, on being there in front of the crowd, that they were just giving all their heart. They were just giving everything. And as a promoter, we cannot be upset with this. Like, so Valleyfield for me represent all the souvenirs that I have for racing. And I think that through the year, what we need to do better now, it's to be aware of who was there before us, the drivers who was there before, and keep going on the history while we look ahead. I think that there's a nice mix, nice fusion that needs to be there so that we do not lose that history that we do have. This year it's 85th anniversary, so that's a big weekend for us, and I hope we'll be able to have some good crowd, good race, good weather, and the beer will be good, so we're fine.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, I got high hopes for that 85th. I won the 75th. I won the 80th. Now it's just destiny.
We hope you need to.
But backstepping onto the it becoming more of a festival, not just a boat race.
Yeah.
Have you seen other races? I think Brockville does a real good job with that. Sorel, especially up there, Madison's going to do has done a great job, and this year has a really good lineup. I
Yeah.
feel like that is one of the most important parts to keeping the sport growing is to have that festival side. What other parts of an event do you think are important? Is a kids fan zone like they have in Valleyfield, things like that? What do you think?
I think that you need to have different zone. Um, like the kids zone is super cool in Valleyfield. I think that if you have the chance to go, unfortunately the kids won't don't want to go back to the pit area probably after.
Nope, my kids spend the whole weekend there.
Exactly. They want to stay there. We do have the VIP section, which is different, which is for a different crowd. We do have the the island. Sorry, I was like Molson, but I need to say Coors Light. That
Yeah.
is. Emily will text me soon. That and this island, we have work to do. We did last year. This is the party island. If you
Oh,
do not
we call it the point. It's called the island. I've been calling it the wrong thing all these years.
I
Wow.
know.
for you, it's the point, but for us, it's the party one.
Yep.
And that party place is actually amazing. If you do not want Bobby to drive on a Sunday, Brendan, and you want to be there, bring him to the island and then go back to the pit area.
I have woke up on the island one year in Valleyfield.
Run.
I mean, I'm definitely very familiar with that place. It like sucks you in. Once you're there, you don't want to leave.
No,
And it's like you might not have the best view there, but just the atmosphere, everyone out there with the music and everyone's just partying, shirts off, just having a good time.
You got one
yeah,
of the
when I
best
wear
views.
my shirt on there, like I feel awkward. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't put my bikini top on to come and work.
Got to change outfits when you go down there.
Right?
I will ask Emily to put some for us, like, to make some HRL bikini for us.
We got rules against that. That's unfortunate. It doesn't match the dress code.
We can change we can us as a podcast, we have
New rule
influence. We
proposal?
can change the podcast. We can change
Okay.
the rules.
Okay.
Yep.
And Brendan, like you said, it's a festival, and I think that last year with the marketing committee, we decided on introduce, and this year I want to work on this on the Thursday night or on the Friday night, like open the pit area, open, like, do a celebration like Madison does. I think that the parade will be hard for us because we do have 70 boats to get out of the pits, and Didier will kill me and Emily too if I ever want to put the boat out from there. But I think that we need to do an event with the family for the fans before the weekend, just to open it. So that's something we want to work to for a fan base, actually too. So yeah, we do need different crowd. We do need good sponsors that we need to work on. The Valleyfield is going good though. Like, we do have good sponsors. What was hard for Valleyfield too, it's when we lost the money from the cigarettes. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
That for us was a, sorry for the word, but kick in the butt. Like, it
Mhm.
was not to say a uppercut. It hit us, and since then we really have to work on main sponsors and show who we are. And with Valleyfield and the why we become to a festival, I think that there is an aspect of it that you need to know is that Canada is really turning into environmental issue. Like, they're really into. There's a lot of sponsors that do not want to sponsor us anymore because it's boating, because of the environment, motors and stuff. So, in order to get them involved and partner with us, even if honestly, for the environment, there's studies that show that we are not bad for the environment compared to many other things. But that said, I think that the music part, culture, uh, it makes the possibility for some sponsors to get in and then be able to upgrade our show. This is the importance too of the festival for us in many of our events.
Definitely. Now you've held Molson and now Coors for how many years? Has it been since the start?
It's crazy. I think so. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
They realize they sell a lot of beer. That's a smart move.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure Valleyfield sells more beer there than they do at the F1 race in Quebec.
I don't know, but I know it's a lot.
Oh, it's
There's
gotta
numbers,
be. It's
but
gotta be.
including the nights and everything, it's a lot. Now, what we see as a trend, maybe I'm not supposed to say it, but I'll say it. Whatever. They can be mad at me
Chasing
after,
tails.
but chasing tails. It's different with the crowd. It's really like on, let's say it's a crowd like more for DJs or a crowd that is younger, like 35 and less. It's more mixed drink or more, let's say, gin
Seltzers.
tonic or vodka cranberry, like really drinks, fancy drinks, fancier. And
Yeah.
when you get the 35 and up or 40 and up, now it's beer that sells like crazy. So that's why now we do have partnership with with Diageo that is there, with Brasserie, the Trois-Lacs there, the distillery, with local like rum, vodka, and everything products. So this is why we do have to change a bit the offer that we had in Valleyfield. Yeah.
Wow. It's always an ever changing thing. So do you handle all the marketing side of Valleyfield yourself, or is there a team?
Well, there is a team for Valleyfield, of course. I'll say that it is more Gabrielle that works with me.
Yep.
Little Gab, I call her. I don't know why I call her Little Gab, because she's so nice and so kind, and I love her from the bottom of my heart. But so this she reminds me a bit when I started. I think this is why I see her and I'm just like, that was me, when I started. So it's her with me for Valleyfield Regattas, but you always need to know that there's a full team behind. Like GP is there, he's involved for Valleyfield. GP by heart too.
Mm-hmm.
You know him; he's been involved for so many years. There's Joan too, involved for Valleyfield. Like, she helps me out a lot. Steven, that is always there. Steven is a live stream guy too, and he's there too for Valleyfield. There's always a team in marketing that is there, but mainly as when you talk like the doer, like the before the event is mainly Gabrielle and I.
So marketing never stops. Like, you can do that 365 days a year. I mean, because marketing is what you always need to do for anything to grow. But from a race standpoint, when do you guys start for, like, say we just got done racing there this year? When do you start working on the next year's race?
Let's say, do you want to know for Valleyfield? Let's say
Yeah, save it for Valleyfield. Yeah,
the day after.
the day after.
The day after. If you talk more like the day after, it's just that we need to do all the resume for the sponsors, because they want numbers. They want to know what was done, where were we, the sales, what we have to work on. And we always have a meeting too to say what went well, what we need to work on. And this part is mainly so important. I'll say that is, we slow down a bit on the organization. Like, for selling tickets right now, it is not prime time.
No.
It's going to be in April, May, when the sun comes out, and then it's nice. Then it's like, oh, when's the event? Where is it? What is that? So I feel like if you go too much ahead on talking about your event, especially to sell tickets, then I think you lose the interest in a long time. Or you need to be super, super interesting for each week, and then you go and you try to find some stuff interesting. This is for the event. But for the race, let's say HRL, the mistake we've done for so many years is that we were promoting only in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
We were starting May 1st, probably, for Cambridge, and September 10th, we were done. Beauharnois was done. All right, close it. We're done. We're going home. Oh, suddenly in November something comes out. Oh, something January is coming. Whoa, Happy New Year! Oh, there's a
Yeah.
stunt. There's something. Um, but to be able to go a year round, you need to build it. You need to be able to have footage for it. Everyone's like, yeah, put a promotion on TV or on YouTube, or yeah, okay, what are we going to use? Images from the 80s? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Who's going to like, what do you want? What are we going to promote? So this is when we need people like GP that goes on behind the camera all year, but people like Jared there that you probably know too. Jared is actually part of the team for 20. He started in 2024. Is going to be part of the team for 2025. Um, he's going to come mainly to each event to an idea to have footage and not to talk about Brian, the man. Like for me is my I think is my gift. He was my gift in 2023 when I first met him, and 2020 2024. And I think that it's we need people like this behind the camera that actually takes footage all year round, and people like you guys too, because what you've done for the sport, and it's not because I'm with you, but there's you, there's Jimmy and Andrew that we're doing it a lot too. There's people that have been having GoPros for a long time, and Eddie is doing it too. And they before they weren't sharing much of the footage. It was just for them, using it and try to do stuff with it. But then Brandon, you started, and then Brian came along, and then it's like now people are sharing their footage, sharing their stuff, which means that we do have HRL product, of course, footage that we're so proud of, and I am so grateful to be able to put my GoPros on your boat, guys. For me, it's such a privilege to be able to have your footage. But and then we do have also your footage, so it means that we do have different angles, different stories, different faces, different stuff. And for us, that's a gift that gives us the chance to keep going year round. And I think this is how we gonna perform, and this is how we gonna go through the competition, because we compete with every sport. But I think that having GPA2 on board that does it too, I think that it makes a huge difference for the sport. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. It's been one of an eye opening year, especially with TKO after Brian kind of lit a fire under us, just to see the growth. I mean, a simple video, even a cell phone video of Kyle coming down the front stretch of Valleyfield, hit like 600,000 views.
I
You
know.
go and look at other motorsports, and they're getting even NASCAR. It's way less than what we can consistently get. So now that we kind of got that traction, and we have you guys have the right team in place to get all this footage. What do we do next with those views is the question I would raise. How do we turn that into ticket sales or sponsorship, stuff like that? Because sponsors might look at it and be like, well, it was just one or two views, but it was just a boat. So how can I put my branding on that to move it and get those million views, but my logo's on it? That's the thing. I think building upon what our success is right now. That's what we got to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to figure, of course, like I noticed lately, there's a bunch of New Zealander that
Yeah.
liked our stuff, but it's normal because we do have Andrew Tate from HRL and H1 and GPA that is going there to race. So then it gives a hype, like it gives like promotion. It's promotion for us too at the same time. I like to say that I'm using Andrew to, you know,
I'm sure he's been used for worse. He drives for Huey.
all that, but it's I just feel like we need that kind of stuff to sell tickets, because I remember many years ago when the Lupton came in the first year, there's a bunch of guys that came in from New Zealand, and there's fans that followed them. Well, we need them to come to our races. We need people from Seattle that liked H1 and GPA to say, hey, let's go to Valleyfield this year. Let's see what it is. And I think that this is what we need to create. But at the beginning, we had to build our base, which is there. Now our team needs to show up in order to say to our sponsors, hey, look what we've done. We have media, we have media, we have this, we have that, and let's keep going. It's not time to slow down, especially on marketing. And I've been talking with Emily a lot about this. Like the numbers are really impressive, and we're having results that I never expected before. And but this is the work from the guys behind. Of course, like I'm there with strategy and everything, but I do not do reels like Brian does. I do not film like GP or Jared does. So for us now, in order to have the sponsors and stuff, that's what we need to do this year. We need to work and get a sponsor and get some people in there that believes in us, that follows us, just in order to keep going up. But without the guys like this, it's going to go down and we'll lose everything. So it's not a 1 year deal. Like it's many years deal. Like
Yeah.
you cannot stop. You can't stop. And to be able to have sponsors, it's really important to make sure that you first you respect what you said in your media kit, and that you just go and get it. But before, we didn't have a media kit much for HRL. We didn't have the data before. Like
Right.
now, when you say that per year roundly we have 450,000 views on our webpage for HRL, it's higher than Valleyfield.
Hmm.
Before it was Valleyfield higher than HRL, but then I'm happy with this at the end of the day, because it's going to grow up our sports. It means that now it's not just Valleyfield, it's all the sport around, it's all the events around that is going up and up and up. So I do believe that it will make people come to our races, and not advertise, help out the promoters too. I think, Brandon, for your question, I think that helping out North Tonawanda, Cambridge, or, all the event, Sorel, about promoting, help them out and give them the footage they need to do. They do not have the footage.
Hmm.
They don't have time. They don't have permanent people working there, like employees. So that part is actually for me really important, really, really important to help them out and to make sure that there's people in the stands and there's people showing up.
Yeah, we've had those discussions here on Chasing Tails and I think Steve David was one of the ones that mentioned it, that the race sites, they put on these events, but we rarely support them in the marketing sense until we get there.
Hmm.
Like Madison, Indiana, he said about the H1 Unlimiteds. You show up and you're there, where H1 should be promoting months in advance before the event on their own page, and that's kind of the things we've been talking about. Like, how can we work with even some of the smaller APBA races,
Hmm.
working with them to promote the race, maybe talking about the town, top restaurants to go to, and then at the end say, oh, by the way, we're going to be racing there at this time. I think it's something that just this whole new wave of social media and how powerful it is kind of catching us all by storm, and we all got to kind of jump on that train and keep rolling with it.
Yeah, but it started a couple years ago only, like the work with the promotion. I remembered when we started to work with others, it was just the social media wasn't that high, so it was more newspaper, and then you doing press release and send it, but you're not there. It's hard. You don't know who's your person you need to refer to. But when now with social media, it's pretty easy to actually help out. Like today we announced Brockville.
Yep.
We have a sorry but freaking good weekend coming along,
Yeah.
like the people they're promoting out there. So, and for me to have a guy like Steve Armstrong writing to me and say, hey Janick, 10 o'clock, Tuesday, let's do this together. And then this for me is a gift, because we work together, and this is when we'll go so far away. We cannot, my job is to help you out. My job is to be able to have, if I help you out, at the end of the day, I'll sell more tickets, everyone will be happy, and then we'll have sponsors. So it's all a circle.
Absolutely.
So it will help races if we get our footage from our GoPros and we can send it to them, or send it to you and you can give it to them.
Yeah, yeah,
It would
exactly.
help them. They can use it for promotional purposes.
Yeah. Now what we want to do for this year is, like, we started last year, but with all the race site, what we do is that they do have photos, official official photos taken last year on their site. And we do have videos for them that we give to them, and as well as we do have a small two amount reserved for them for social media marketing. And what we do with them too after is like if we can promote anything, we do it. Like we just go and we advertise for them. But this started a bit last year, but this year we really want to be on the ball with this. And what's new this year is the live stream. So every event, we want to send a live stream kit to them and say, all right, we do have our own sponsors for HRL on the live stream. But if you do want in Cambridge, let's say tourism, people, the town wants to advertise this or that, they can put their video on. And then this is the numbers you'll have, and this is where it's going to be. And then after, if you're on the reel, actually, they can have your logo there. So this is for the sites, the promoters. And I think that this can be a new way of making new money that doesn't cost much. Because at the end of the day, you can sell a 4x6 banner, which is super cool, but the banner costs 120 US, and then they give you 250. Well, I didn't make much, and the deal took probably 3 hours. And so at the end of, you paid yourself, all right, this was great. So you ready rethink of what you offer so that the cost of everything you have to prepare for them is really not pricey.
Agreed.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that, like we keep saying, and I think stress it over and over again, especially for our race teams, is the largeness of social media and what you can do with it. Even that, like saying, putting a reel up that is all about Cambridge, has a couple of their sponsors, it might get 1 million views from all over the world. But then if the race site wanted to target it into an ad, you can make it into a nucleus of that area. That way you're actually getting fans to come out. They're actually from Cambridge, Ocean City, any of those places locally. So it's not just, it's kind of building upon what you see is working, turn it into an ad, and maybe that's worth more than, like you said, buying a banner.
We do have the app too. There's 50.
Best app ever for boat racing or any car racing I've been a part of. For sure.
There's 15,000 people that downloaded last year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think that this is one a tool that we do have that needs to be upgraded onto media side, like more on marketing side. But it's super cool because at the end of the day, you know everything. You go on to Cambridge, you know everything about it. If you go on Valleyfield, you do have the results. If you go on North Tonawanda, you do have the results. Sorrel too. So I find that this is super interesting. And now that we did it too, so that all the people at home are texting me sometimes saying, I'm so happy to know who's in the next heat. Because you do have it. You have the schedule, and then you do have, all right, Bobby Lane 1, Brandon Lane 2, Kyle Lane 3. And you do... You're in Lane 1? Lane 1, Valleyfield, though, Bobby. So...
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'm
He's
sorry.
just going to hit me anyway.
So I do have to say that app is pretty amazing. HRL is the only place where I can easily find who placed where on 20 minutes after the race.
Yeah.
There's other organizations that I can't find points anywhere. I have to go scroll Facebook and see people who posted them to find out the results from 2 months ago. I mean, it is a tool that not a lot of people think about that is very, very nice, and it's unique because no one else has it. So it is pretty awesome.
And I remember the first time we started to talk about it, and it was Didier and Emily and me, and we're just sitting. And Didier was talking to me for so many years. I want the results live. I wanted live, Jen. I wanted live.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I was like, God damn it, you know what? It's so hard, Didier, to put it live. And then he looked at me and he's like, yeah, we put men on the moon. Like, on the moon. Like, honestly, I think we can put live results. And I was like, oh, well, okay, let's do this. And this is how we went through it. But the first year we did that, I'll always remember we were in Valleyfield weekend, and the results were coming live, but not on the app, but it was then on our website. And Sunday afternoon, finals start. It's 3:30 or so, and then I go online to see what's up, and the site is down. And I'm like, what is going on? Luckily then we were hosted with a local firm, and the owner of the firm was sitting in the grandstand. So it's like, hey, you, like, our site is down, what can you do, help us out, like, what's going on? Actually, what happened is that 25,000 people at the same time went and clicked to see the results.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So what this caused, it goes down, because the hosting cannot go ahead and say, oh God, like, what is going on? I was like, what? And I always remember Didier's face saying, see, it's important to have the results live. I was like, okay. So but it was back up right after, and because we deal with local, this helps out a lot too. And I think this is when it started, like the app and the thinking of it and what we wanted in it started there. And each year it just goes and evolve and just gets better. Like there's stuff each year that bugs me, then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work on it next year. Like, I find it hard to find the schedule every day, and I'm like, I need to change this next year. Like, it bugs me. So every year there's something new on it. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I have loved about HRL is they never stop improving. Even right now, you have the best product there is in boat racing, and you just keep thinking of ways to make it better, whether it's from the live stream or soon you'll have live timing and GPS tracking, because that technology's there. It's just a little pricey right now, but I'm sure it's coming down the road. I mean, just steady improvements.
We just had a suggestion in the chat that the app should have on drivers' profiles a link to their team Facebook pages.
It's a really good idea.
That is a good.
I mean, that would help. Someone likes that team, likes that boat, goes on there. It could be a potential sponsor to for a small team that might help them out.
Yeah, I'll take a note. This is how
Charette can think once in a while.
Is he on Charette? Wow.
Yeah.
He's part of the committee, so marketing committee. So yeah, he's part of it. He's going to bring it back. Guillaume, keep it. Bring it back.
Yeah, that was a pretty good idea.
It is.
Speaking on that kind of pulls me into one thing I was thinking. I've been watching a lot of the Chili Bowl and Flow Racing, some of the things they have on Facebook. Are we missing personality in this sport, do you guys think? Like a Johnny Douche type person, like just like someone that's like wild and like you can always clip on. Like some of us are very serious when we get to the boat races. Like
I like to watch the fights in NASCAR. So.
But I think more F1 oriented.
Yeah, it seems like it. I think we need to loosen up a bit.
I will say, like, that's
Canadian thing. I don't know, but I think it's funny that you guys are talking about this, because that's why this year we started to put out our drivers a little bit more into the interviews. Like do different things and keep it.
Talk about goat racing.
Exactly. Personality, I think that we do have some. I think it's just the thing of putting them and just taking them and put them forward. Like, we do have some colorful people, but the line is, do you cross it or not?
Well, you just have to do away with that code of conduct paper. Just do away with that. We'll get all the personality and we want.
We have a really good PR person that handle anything we do wrong. She'll fix it, right? Clean up our mess.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true. Like, there's, racing is about passion. You cannot be a racer if you're not passionate. If you do not have the adrenaline and if you do not have the anger to win, competitiveness, you're not a racer. So with this comes personality. with this comes explosion. With this come, like I am not the same person when I'm on my bike and when I go and you pass me. I'm on Peloton, or something on my bike and I'm number 60 and someone passed me. Oh, God. Look at I'm going to go get you. I might die on this bike, but I'm going to go get you. So this is who I am. So I understand. And my son that plays hockey too, like you need this anger, that grit. You need it. So this is why I think that there is things that we can do a little bit more, but on the other side there's that that nice thing that we want to do, be clean, more F1, more do, like, I don't know if you've seen F1 lately. I thought it was so funny about the supper that they all had together, that Lewis Hamilton did. Like the first thing I've done is like, who's sitting with whom,
Yeah. They got Max and George across from each other. That was so good. They tried to get them to sit right next to each other, and George just grabbed the chair and took it down.
Exactly. But
if you want, we can do that with the GP class. I mean, that would get some good footage, but you have to do it at the end of the year, because at the beginning of the year, everyone's going to be nice to each other. That'll be no fun.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's nice. We should, but I think that it is maybe not as raw as in NASCAR, but I think that there is a way of doing stuff with that kind of event. There is, or what they do to, like, who would you like to be this year, and then you pull the picture without just saying it, like there, or there is a way of doing it. I just need to work with my team and figure out how to transform it.
We do the dinner. I'll sit next to Ken Henderson and break his chair.
But I think it is cool that you've brought up F1 a couple times, and kind of on what we've been talking about and showing that personality. You've seen it even kind of just in some of their teams, like TikToks and Instagrams this year. Even if you're not getting the demographic of just the motorheads who love seeing the cars and the boats go super fast, but you get them doing the little stupid TikTok dances or doing putt-putt. You get those other people that don't so much care about the motors, but they kind of relate with one of the drivers, and then they kind of start watching, and then they come to the race.
Exactly. And I think that we that's what, we need to go step by step. I would love to do everything into a summer, but I think that we just need to go. And I think this is why too, like the marketing committee is there. This is why I work with people that loves, are involved every day. And in that committee, we do have people like Mathis, Gabriel Chiasson, Eric Camfouche, Guillaume Charette, that is listening now. Rémi Beauvillain, he's new this year, but he's there. Brandon, of course. And I add to this committee too, like GP Poulain for sure, but also Brian and Jared. And I think that when you do have GP, Brian, and Jared in the committee that can actually film it, put it together, in a montage or whatever, like you can have like a huge candy at the end of the day, like a bijou, like you can have something super cool. And I think that this is what will make a difference for us this year. Like just to now, like the basic is there. We need to improve it. We need to get better, but there's other stuff that we can do. Yeah.
I know. I agree. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, I've talked about it on previous episodes. Like that was one thing. Like I really liked the RDS. It was cool to watch that. But we've talked about how like every weekend's kind of like a story, and then like the whole season itself is a story. And I think that's the kind of the part that maybe somebody that doesn't show up to the races or have connections at the races might miss. And like as much as we try to limit it as much, like the drama is what makes this sport so exciting.
Exactly.
It might have its ups and downs, but that is, that's part of why it's so entertaining, why we're so passionate about it, and why we think other people should enjoy watching.
Exactly. I think that there is also, it's funny that you guys are talking about this, because yesterday or 2 days ago, I think I was talking with Brian and say, hey, what do you think if we put out a remote? What do you think if we put together all summer like a remote and with Jared and the team, and we follow some guys, around, and then at the end of the day, we, I don't know, we can push it to Prime, can push it to Netflix, we can push it to anyone, but or do our own freaking show.
I love that idea.
You know what?
I love that idea.
Someone laughed at me the other day because I said I do not take a no for an answer when I truly believe on a yes, and I'm gonna figure it out a way. So if it's a question of money, I'm gonna find sponsors to do it. If it's a question of people, I'm gonna find the people to do it. And if it's to find a show, there's no one. All right, let's raise money. Let's pay our own people. Let's start our own company and do it.
I love that. That's awesome.
What's
Yeah.
stop us from doing this? So let's do it. Uh, what's the worst that can happen? We had a good time. You know?
Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have things to look at 20 years from now
Exactly.
while we're still racing boats.
And my
We have
thing is,
footage.
my thing is too, like, you see some of the stuff that makes it on Netflix and Prime and Hulu. Like, you cannot convince me that this is not better than so much stuff.
Right.
Oh,
But they're
it's-
all, if you look at 90% of them, they're all built from YouTube.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
No
build it and they'll come kind of deal. And
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
the power of that, it's free. Except for your production and what you want to put into it. YouTube is a free platform that anybody can go on. And nowadays with the, like we've spoke about before on here, with the algorithms changing, it doesn't take a ton of following to get the views. You can have one follower and you can get 1 million views. It's all about the content you're putting out and how it resonates with people. And I feel like, again, we're hitting that new age of boat racing's in a prime spot. All the organizations seem to be working in the same direction, and even together, it seems that everyone's looking for a new motorsports. I mean, dirt racing blew up in the past 4 or 5 years because they did this exact same thing. They had some people, some teams that kind of stood out, and then the league started saying, all right, let's do this. And now you have Kyle Larson having series and all that. And I mean, even from the boat racing side, we all laugh at the E1s being electric and that, but they are doing something right, and they're doing it all through media, the social media. I think I was glancing at some of their videos. A lot of their race sites don't even have that many fans,
No.
but they're doing a lot of things through media, and they're getting millions and millions of dollars.
And you know what's nice? We do have a John Peters involved in it.
Yep.
That we can call and say, hey, John, I'm going to go to this race. I need you to put me around, visit it, and see. Because I think that truly sitting at home, watching others go to our own races, you do not get better. You need to go elsewhere, travel, go somewhere else's. And this is how, live stream has been going on with HRL. It was Achat before and Hydroplane Québec. I don't know if you remember that, but it was Joan was doing a tremendous job with GP and Christian there. And then they were actually doing a huge thing by then with the live stream. What happened is that it took, okay, I was back, but it took an Emily at the end, and it took a Didier trusting me and say, hey, you know what, Janick? Buy what you need to buy for the live stream. Go ahead and do it. But this is coming from a trip that we did to Tri-Cities. We went to Tri-City, Emily and I, and I've met Brian the summer of, and I always wanted to see the Unlimited. I've seen it in Valleyfield, but the way they were turning, I was a PR person and I was so scared what was going on that I went to the chalet and I didn't move when they were racing. I was like, this is going to badly end. Like, I do not want to see this anymore. But so I wanted to see them. So then, go to Tri-Cities with Emily, my son Liam, and Jessica. And people around were like, why are you going to Tri-Cities? You're Valleyfield. And that question surprised me so much because you know what? Tri-Cities, there's people around the bay. There's a legacy. There's people involved. There's passion out there. So it's different. Let's go see what they're doing. And I had an idea behind my head because it's been a while that I was looking at their live stream and everything, and we were welcome out there. Of course, like it was easier because Andrew was driving then, so that it was with Brian too. I knew them, so it was easier for me to to go around and go see like the team and where the live stream was. But then I just discovered like they told me everything they were doing and everything they were so nice with me. And this is how it started. I looked at Emily and I said, "This is what I want." And she said, "Yep." I said, "Yep." I said, "All right, this is what we'll do."
So you stole Brian Montgomery?
We're like
Borrow.
on a shared. It's a shared like relationship. You know,
Yeah.
I have them half time. They have in half time. Like it's all right. So, but I'll never ask someone to choose between an organization or the others. I just think that when someone is good and when someone is passionate about what he's doing, like Brian is, for me, this is what drives me. This is what it drives. Brendan, you said how we get better. I think that in life, if you probably because I'm an entrepreneur, but I always need to get better. I do not. Sometimes I'm comfy, my comfort zone. Okay, I let me here. I'm okay. I don't want to move, but I need to get out of this in order to get better. And by going elsewhere, I think that this is what will be nicer for us. And we were just talking today, I think Emily and I think that our next outing will probably be Guntersville. It's not confirmed, but never been. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get a plane ticket
Yeah.
and just go down. So I think that this is important to
Yeah.
go see others, what they're doing, and not to stay at home and say, "Oh, I'm so good."
Exactly.
Sometimes
I mean,
it gets you. When you
even
think you're the best,
yep.
yep.
It's
But
hard.
a lot of races offer different things. Like you can go to one race and you'll be like, "Oh wow, look at that." Go to another race, see something else different, and like a race like Valleyfield, you want to bring that all to one race and to make it bigger and better than any other race. But that's why I like going to so many different races, because it's not the same thing each weekend and week out. It's something different every weekend, and it's a different crowd. The one race will do something else different than another, and it just keeps it fresh. It keeps it different throughout the summer, which is always good.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like you're going, by the way, because Emily just said she reserved the room this morning.
Oh.
You'll be treated to. I will say that race. If I pick one thing about Guntersville, it's Southern hospitality. They are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
No doubt.
They bend over backwards for us racers. It's really, really unique.
And Cal might be upset right now. I would like to apologize to him personally. It's just that he puts his race the first weekend that we do have an event.
Yeah.
And Emily's my partner in crime, so we travel.
We can get you a new one for that race. Get you a Madison-y.
You can wear a GP35 shirt that weekend.
Yep.
You don't need a
That's cool.
partner. You can have a whole team.
You need to bribe Emily then to let me go.
Come on, Emily. Let her go to Madison.
Well, that is one thing that's kind of wild. We followed the HRL series for so long that Madison was always right before Valleyfield. And us GPs, we didn't want to go. That kind of had a bad mark on it to us. But after COVID, it kind of nobody else was racing. So we went there, and it's like, again, eye-opening. Like, wow, this is about the closest thing to Valleyfield in my mind that we can get with the fans that are they're knowledgeable. They love the racing. They party like crazy. The parade, everything about it. It's a big festival. So it was kind of nice to have that break to see something else. And now them being back to back, and last year being a part of the GP Challenge. I mean, it just everything's getting better, especially for us in Grand Prix. That it's good to see other places, like you said.
I think you need to go. So Cal needs to change his weekend. I'm just telling.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever change off July 4th. They would lose some fans then.
I'd love to go to Madison once. I think that you
would think it's cool, because it's like Valleyfield. You'll go to restaurants and there will be boat parts on the wall. One restaurant, just like Valleyfield, has a boat hanging up on the wall. A lot of racing history in that town, and just like Valleyfield, everyone in that town knows about the race. They love the race, and it's the biggest event all year for them. just like Valleyfield.
Mm.
So
Exactly. So talking about that leads us into the next subject of the organizations working together. Obviously, you were firsthand in pushing for the GP Challenge, getting GPA and HRL to kind of align with each other to work together. Even H1 being on the live stream of Tonawanda and Tonawanda being on the live stream of H1. How much of a benefit do you feel that is to boat racing as a whole? As we are a community, I think someone said the other day, we're probably only about 150 boats worldwide. So how good is that to have everyone working together?
I never thought that someday we will be on the H1 live stream. If you would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have probably laughed and say, yeah, whatever. I think it starts with respect and with trust. When you're nice with people, when you can truly trust people and you help them out if they need you, they're going to help you out in return. I think that it's the basic of relationship. If you look mad every day and you're mad all the time or aggressive, I don't think anyone would like to, engage a relationship or, a business deal with you. So what we what I prefer is that it started many years ago, Brandon. I don't know if you remember that, but when it was before ASHA or HRL even, I remember being in my office and Bert Henderson was driving a U, an unlimited, and Pat they were too. And I was so happy for the guys, like just to be able to, it's big, it's huge, like they're, you know, it's just a big deal, and they, but the call was not to promote it. The call was, you know what, it's not our league, it's not us. Let's keep it that way. And it kind of killed me a bit because for the longest time, I truly believe that you need to talk about others if you want to be bigger. If you stay in your own little community and you stay all together, well, you'll be strong, but you'll never get bigger and bigger. So, and then I started last year or 2 years ago. I remembered I received the text messages from one of the team because I promoted the guys from HRL that were going racing at EPBA. And I was wishing them, hey, good luck, guys. You're going there, just have fun. And I was doing a resume too at the end of the weekend, which, Bobby, it is true sometimes to receive the result. It's a good
painful.
thing I had Brendan. I think it's Brendan that gave me all the results. And
Yeah, I lied a
and I
little
think
bit.
Dan Kentbush too from one event is like, there's a picture. He was my camera guy and my photograph guy. So, but things like this happen because I truly care. I truly care about people. I truly care about racing. I'm passionate with it. I made money when I was 5 with it. I think this is why I probably
Well, you're about the only one that's made money in boat
probably
racing.
and so it keeps going on. And so whether it's either it's APBA, H1, GPA, we need to work together. If I'm blocking you, what is the advantage of me to block you? Honestly,
it hurts both parties.
exactly.
Because boat racing is such a small community. The H1, GPA, HRL, APBA, that we don't even have the numbers close to dirt bike racing. And if we can all band together and work together, we can try to achieve those numbers.
Yep.
The viewership, the people that we reach on social media and other platforms. But if we don't work together, we're not gonna get anywhere close to any of those other motorsports.
No.
So.
And you know what? I truly believe that if you stay close and you do not want open to the others, it's because you do not trust your product.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow, that's valid.
It's true.
and
Very true.
I truly believe in my product. I truly believe in the people in it. I believe in the sport. I believe in everything. So that's why I work. And with H1, you'll see if they still open to do stuff. Nick is a cool guy. I worked with him last year, sorry, and we had communication too lately saying, hey, what do you think if we do some frame, for HRL, when there's this, there's a downtime or there's nothing. And same for us. If there's nothing, there's downtime, there's rain, why not put the races going on, in Seattle and put it in? So there's different things that we can do like this, but it takes people and it takes trust, and that's it. It you'll laugh, but it takes less ego.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, you gotta check the egos at the door. I mean, especially when you work together.
Exactly.
Ego does not help anything when you're trying to work together. Now, ego with racing, yeah, you need an ego.
Exactly.
You don't have an ego when you're racing. You're going to get crushed out there.
I want Bobby to have his egos when he goes in his boat,
Exactly.
And I
Oh, he
want,
does.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry.
I know that. And I want mine as well when I go, and I do stuff, and I try to convince people that it's the best thing to do, or I try to find a sponsor, or sell a product or sell something, but it's the way that you just need sometimes a point where, all right, I'm listening to what you have to tell me. I'm going to take the best part of it, see what I can do. And if it's a no, it's going to be a no. But sometimes it's just hard because ideas are good. But I talked to Brendan about this too. In marketing, what is hard lately is just the people involved. Sometimes when you have money and when you want to invest it, there's so many people at different ages involved that a person that is 65 or 70 is not thinking of a 25, 30. He won't look at everything. So when we present, like say the plan, or when we present anything, it's like, we'll do the live stream. It was hard from Emily and Didier to, at the beginning, to say, hey, we'll invest, I don't know how many thousands into it. And then she's seeing the bills going on. And she's like, Janick, are you sure it's okay? And then Steven, using my credit card to go ahead. I was like, yeah. But, it takes a lot of trust. And that's it. I think that it's just good to have people around you that believes it, because it wasn't easy to convince everyone. It is not easy to convince someone that is used to watch TV every morning, a morning show that mainly the audience that we do have doesn't look at it. And then you need to tell them, all right, I always remembered I presented it's many years ago. It was for Beauharnois. I presented a layout, like a graphic design, and I've put in the water some pink, and some whatever colors that were there. And maybe it's the pink that didn't go through, but now that there's more women involved, it goes easier. But before then, the answer was from the committee, like, why is there pink in the water? And I was like, okay. So the target is, like, you always need to put, I don't like the purple. Okay, but it's women from 25 to 45, which their favorite color is purple, and they will buy it if you do this.
Yeah.
This is what you need to put in, because maybe Austin likes Honda, but if I want to sell him a Ford,
Go ahead.
We already trying to sell one. We're good.
I will have
You want to buy one?
I will have a lot of work to do in order to but I know Austin.
Yeah.
And because I studied him before I go.
Demographics.
Exactly. And they're really important.
Yeah.
And us, it's 25, 45, and it's increasing like crazy. And you'll be surprised, it's half and half. Men, women.
Very cool.
Nice.
It's fun to look at stuff like that. I know I've been kind of peeking at the Chase and Tails and TKO pages on Facebook, and like we said before, bringing in kind of the guys from down under, we get a pretty good percentage of watchers and viewers from down there, and that's awesome that we have people halfway across the world tuning in to watch us talk about boat racing. I mean,
Exactly.
that's awesome.
It is. And listening to a French Canadian.
Yeah. Well, and
more than an hour.
even on that, talking about the live stream and the role it plays in the boat racing side of it during the summer, we saw a huge uptick when we went live because you're always at the top of somebody's feed, especially on Facebook, that they see it, they pop on. Hopefully, we're saying something good at that moment in time, and they're hooked, and now they're a viewer, and that this, that, and the other. And live streaming for boat racing is important because really, there's nothing in the summer. There's NASCAR's not on, football's not on, so people are looking, and obviously they're looking on YouTube now. Nobody really has cable anymore, so it's all on streaming platforms, and YouTube's always the starting one
Yeah.
until we could get on to say Flow Racing or something like that. But again, back to if we keep building upon what we're doing, making more of the storylines like Kyle was saying, I really truly believe we're on the right path, and we can't thank you enough for kind of spearheading it, and obviously all the people like you mentioned that are a part of that team. Hydroplane Quebec, what they did back in the day, that was thankless of them. I mean, they just did it for the love of the sport.
Yep.
And now that they're going to be on when we start getting some fruits of this and the payback from it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm really grateful with the people that worked with me, and even just the marketing committee. The time you guys are there with me, you have other things to do. You don't have to sit and listen to us. Like there's others, and just to I'm so grateful for the guys. I said it earlier, but that accept the fact that I put the GoPro on their boat. Um, my highlight of the summer, it's Alex Pilon and Steph Blaine that went on a podcast. For you, it's probably nothing, but for me to have Alex Pilon go on a podcast and Steph Blaine that was like, you know what, I'm not sure. I don't really want to go. And they went. And for me, it meant the world for me because it told me, okay, you know what? I think I'm doing a good job and I'm going to keep doing what I have to do. I'm going to be pushing for people like this that truly believe that we're doing a good job and that are convinced that the sport that we have is big. That's it. I think that
Nice.
it's a person to person. The first time I was in the pit working, it was in Cambridge after COVID, and I was with les grues, the crane, sorry, and I remember I had GP50, not to name him, but I didn't know anyone then. I had GP50, I had GP104, and I had Janick. Janick, it's easy. I know him since we're kiddos. It's easy for me, Jan, whatever. But then when people saw the person that I had with me, they all looked at me and said, "Oh, good luck." I was like, "What? Good luck?" I was like, "All right, if you make all of them smile in the end of the day, well, you might have a wine glass tonight." What? A glass of wine, tonight. I was like, what is going on? And then I go around and, present myself. I start to talk, and there's some, like the crane thing and the whatever. So I was like, man, this is my first time. Like, honestly, the guys need to know. Just call it. Do whatever. Like, I'm gonna, put number 50, put it in the water. I don't know, like, whatever, go down, go up, click, click. This is not what I do, I'm usually taking pictures and doing other stuff. So, whatever. And I'll always remember GP50 team looking at me and having so much fun with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a good group of guys.
Yes. And I think that it's just the way that you carry yourself too, and it just, okay, what do you need? Like, what can I do? You're my show. And I think this is the difference that people needs to understand. I do not have marketing. I do not have anything if I don't have an Austin, a Carl, a Bobby, or a Brendan. Nothing. I don't have a show. So work, together. be involved together, and just get better. That's it.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. Now I think we're getting close to closing time, Bobby. You better start getting your rapid fire ready.
Let me get this.
I want to touch
I
on
don't
one
have
thing.
Wi-Fi anymore. I'm sorry.
All right. So you were touching on some of the colors, and it made me start thinking about the women in the sport. Over the years, it seems like you have them in waves, and then they go have kids and stuff like that. But you guys, you, Emily, all Jessica, Gab, all you guys in power positions, and how much does that mean to you being in a motorsport avenue that usually is more predominantly male dominated? How much of an effect has it been for you to have more women in the sport over the years?
I think that I'm so happy to work with Emily and Jess and Gab. Um, but working with Emily, she has we have a different personality. I know that you know the two of us, like, but together we make a best team ever. And this is what makes me so happy when I go to a race. Just being with her, just being, knowing that we have her back, like we're backing up each other, and that we will work together through a better thing, and that I trust her, she trusts me. Just this and having women involved, I think it is sometimes maybe more gentle. I don't know. I feel like it's more, sometimes it's softer than, we don't need to scream at anyone for nothing. Sometimes it happens, but, but right as of now, I think that having women there, it is just different a little bit. It gets, I think it's Didier that is actually in trouble right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You notice he's calmed down a lot since now he's surrounded by women, so it's smart move.
So I think that it's, but yeah, women's in sport, and that people are trusting us. I'm not sure it would have happened 10 years ago.
Right.
I don't think that awesome. The guys in the pits would have let us be in charge.
Yeah.
But I
think it's awesome. It's working. It's proof is in the pudding. It's definitely something that's growing.
It's definitely, I'd say, the main thing. It makes the sport more presentable, because when you let us run the asylum, it can get a little interesting.
Yeah, what'd that guy say on the show? Idiots run the asylum? Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
That was about another organization. Oh, and on that point, I got to ask you about the HRL Karen. I was told you would know.
She died.
Oh, no.
Look, HRL you almost made me back off on this. I'm like, whoops, I asked the wrong.
No. So, as you know,
should the podcast guess who the HRL Karen is?
No. I plead the fifth, bro.
Because every weekend, as you guys know, we named our GoPros.
Yep.
All the GoPros have a name. And we had one named Karen. And Karen was sometimes given to the one that was complaining the most. But without the guy knowing, or the team knowing. Now they'll know. But it was just for fun and for joke. Like, who do you want? Do you want Jeanette? Do you want Jacqueline? Do you want, there's Telma. Like, there was so many names and stuff that it's just for fun, So then Barb, like, who would you like this weekend? They said, I want Barb. All right, so Barb's with you for the weekend,
I think she just solved our propeller problem.
Yeah, we need to name them.
2613, any of this stuff. It's Barb and Jeanette, and we're naming them.
Exactly. And I think Karen left us early in the season. I think she was fed up and she had enough. She let go and wanted to flip. I can't remember if it was Nick Tremblay or Marc Lalonde or who it was, but yeah, she's gone. Actually, 4 of our 8 GoPros left us last summer.
We had one leave us too.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of them. I think I lost like 3. I'm down to 1. I crashed the skiff. Both the GoPros stayed on, and then I lost it somehow coming home. I don't know where it's at. I'll find it mowing the grass someday or something.
We bought 3 brand new before Brockville and lost one first weekend.
Yep, it's always the way.
And
It's just-
even you're like, okay, do I want to put a floater, like the floaties, like the orange thing on? People are like, oh, put it in. And then inside of me, I was like, what are the, do I want somebody to pass on it like with the propeller? Really?
Yeah.
Do I
Or go through a bottom of a sponson.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do I really want this? So that's why I'm like, you know what? She's gone. She's gone. Like,
Yeah.
she gone.
It's built into the budget. We're going to start building it into the budget. We're going to lose 5 GoPros a year. It's okay. It's built
It's
in.
okay. I didn't present it yet, so Emily knows right now I need to buy GoPros. I might try to some 350s, 360s.
There you go. Yeah.
Like I might,
Yeah.
last year I wanted to try it, and I think I'm gonna go with it and just buy 1 or 2 and see.
It
see
gets
what
some cool footage. I mean,
it does.
It's all about having the right people, and we talked about it when Brian was on Walt up in Valleyfield, running back and forth, turning them things on. My man was sweating head to toe more than us racers, and then Brian was like, "Yeah, they told me to turn these on. I'm the media guy, and I didn't turn them on right."
I know. No, it was awesome last summer. Actually, this summer we would like to have the same people involved in Valleyfield. A Walt, a Tate, Jared's brother coming into, of course, all the rest of the gang. I think it gave us a live stream, like by having many cameras, like many angles. It was cool to have.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. I've been editing those hot lap videos and posting them up, and it's really cool to switch from camera to camera and just keep people engaged.
And for a live stream,
minute-long
it's like
thing.
it's TV. It's
Yep,
a TV
for
show.
sure.
And this is what we want to do this summer too. Like, all right, there's no downtime. There's a publicity. There's a remote. There's an interview. There's this. There's that. Like it's Steven, is going to kill me at the end of the summer, I think. But I just want it. All right, we can do better. We can do this. We need to do that. Like, just
Emily said she wants a 360 camera too, so don't worry.
There we go.
Sure.
There we go.
That's it. It's done. You see how it's not complicated? That's the way it is.
See? Yeah.
This is we take all the credit. We call this the chasing tails effect.
That's it.
When we start talking about something, it gets done.
All right, we'll do. Sponsors.
Does HRL want to sponsor some cameras for a 35? Because we keep losing.
Oh my God. So do you have some question, Bobby?
Yeah, Bob, go ahead. With
Oh
your rapid
yeah,
fire, and
I
then we'll wrap
got
it
got
up.
my rapid questions. All right, this is a rapid fire questions, and you answer them as fast as possible, and then we'll move on to the next question. All right, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Spaghetti.
Who's your favorite driver?
He put that one in.
You can skip that one. John Threat. There you go. Okay. What aspect of boat racing do you like the most?
The adrenaline when the motor starts.
All right. Beer or tequila?
At the end of the night, beer. In the beginning, tequila.
To get it going, tequila? All right. What's your favorite class to watch?
That's not cool. Actually, 1 liter. No.
Yeah, Steve David would just answer with all of them.
No, there's, what makes it hard, Bobby, to say that, because I know people involved.
In every class, yep.
So for me to see a 2.5, the F350 GSS or, Grand Prix going is just, I'm delighted with it. And I think that the competition is so good between everyone. There's no class that.
You know what I enjoy? I enjoy having coffee in the morning and watching the novice class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
That is awesome.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
All right. Now this is a very important one. Can we start drinking on stage at the driver introduction again in Valleyfield? Like,
That's that
come
personality
on.
aspect.
I bought a
It's
shotgun beer thing. For
it's
this.
like
I've been
we
waiting to
only
use my
have-
beer helmet.
Yeah.
I want to drink with the fans.
Yeah, maybe we need a separate stage. I know it's because of the artist and all their equipment. We'll just have a
Before
separate
anyone
stage. Just put
chugs.
us in the front row.
Sponsored by Coors.
I think we need the people in charge are listening.
There
So
we go.
Okay.
we'll hear
Or
you.
put us in the back. Make all the fans turn around. We'll be in the back somewhere where we can't hurt anything.
All right, now what is the most memorable final besides the 2023 GP final in Tonawanda? That was the final I won. But what's the most memorable final that you ever watched?
Wow. I think it's then when it was, well, just because I don't want to talk about you guys. I think it's when the 444 was there, Super 7 was there, and all the Grand Prix going. I think this is when it was super cool too.
Yeah.
For me to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't know the guys. So when I was, because you need to, yeah, like, we used to bet. You probably know Valleyfield, like this is what we do. Like, in the stands, like my parents are still doing it, and they're always calling my son or myself to see on which boat they need to put their money on. and I'm like, Mom, I can't tell you. So, you
So
know,
really, what Valleyfield is for some under backroom betting, gambling. That's all it's for.
We gotta get sports betting.
that's why we need a
there.
casino. We need to
Yeah,
do
we
like
need it legalized.
like
Do you guys
F1.
have sports betting apps up there? Or are they not legal in Quebec yet?
I think they are legal, and I'm actually looking into it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Love that.
I
All
just
right.
heard
I was
about
gonna
one
say,
on a
could Chasing
podcast that
Tails
we
get
could do this.
legislature passed? That'd be sweet.
Bobby,
Oh,
you
no,
muted
no.
your
I'm
mic again.
concerned. I'm always
Once an episode, Bobby.
What's your favorite thing to do at a race?
sit and hide so that I can watch the race. No,
Oh.
seeing people. I think that I love. You'll probably see us. You know, we're super busy, but at the end of the, like on Saturday afternoon or on Sunday afternoon in Valleyfield, you cannot really find me. I'm in the stands somewhere sitting and watching the finals. This is where I am. And, you know, of course, emergency, like we're all, but Emily is too, like Jess is too, like we're all sitting with our peeps, like and just watching the race.
Nice.
Yeah. Just like
All
you
right.
guys.
As you should.
Last question. Besides Valleyfield, what's your favorite race?
God, you're asking the PR person a lot of tough.
I know. It's tough questions.
Tri-Cities.
Tri-Cities?
Good answer.
Yeah. You know,
I think that's a pretty good race. I mean, I haven't been there, but
San Diego.
tons of videos, tons of pictures, tons of
San
everyone's
Diego,
always
guys.
Yeah.
I have to say San Diego is really cool
Yeah.
because of the site. Like it was windy, but you can keep going. For me, it was such a bless, and just everything. Yeah, San Diego too. It's really cool, really really good. And then they go to. There's no downtime in San Diego much, and
Yeah.
that was impressive for me. Yep.
Well,
Not on the trail, but,
Emily did say no about Madison, but we're going to keep working on her. We're just going to.
At least for like just one day. I mean, good country
Yeah,
bands.
come down one day.
Justin Lynch. come
Parade.
on.
yeah, just one day.
Yeah.
The parade, that's it. You'll figure a way to get all 70 boats out to a parade if you see what the parade's
Yeah.
like there.
I feel like
Yeah.
a parade in Valleyfield could be pretty nuts too.
And I guarantee you'd get back in the pits before midnight like we did at Madison the one year. Be a little more organized.
Yeah,
that'd be
it's a big deal. I think that it's. We'll see what we can do this year. I'm not sure about the parade, but there's something that we can put on for sure. Bobby, you were
Yeah.
nice. I'm impressed.
I know. There was a couple questions I had to take out because I was like, Brandon, I was going to ask this, but people would take it the wrong way. It was about breakfast too, and I'm like, that's just, no, we can't ask that. I was like going to ask like what your preference on breakfast is, and I'm just.
I
like,
still want to
no.
just know if I'm getting put in for this marketing meeting on
You
Saturday.
are,
I don't want no
actually.
pizza. Good.
There is one for you coming. I already
Perfect.
ordered it.
Special
Yeah,
order. I like
yep.
it.
Yep. I can't wait to see you guys at the gala.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Bobby, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I suck. I'm not coming. But.
Again, this is all stuff that is content. We've discussed it a lot. I mean, there's so much of what we've done. I still go back to the lip sync battle with Carson and I. That was so much fun. And like the video pops up every year, and it's like
I know.
that's the uniqueness about it, and we all just have a good time. But even the year me and Roshan went at it on the dock, and then you guys made us dress up and acted out 6 months later. Like it's fun. That's entertainment. I love it.
I think you'll appreciate the show too. This year there's a lot of there's surprises. I think there's good stuff, but we changed to people at home will be able. There's a live interview done with every winner. So official pictures is done after, and Joan has a live interview right away in another room after the winner gets out with the prize. So this is different too. We're not doing it just only with a picture. Now we're doing it with the live interview on HRL's page. So follow us. I'll do my job. Follow us this weekend, Saturday evening, and it's going to be a good one. We'll have a lot of fun. Sorry, Bobby.
I know. You all have a beer for me. How about that?
Will do.
So I think, guys, you guys got anything else? And before we wrap it up here,
I just want to say thank you for everything you do for our sport.
Nailed it.
Really appreciate it. I think in a way you brought a lot of groups together, a lot of people together to try to better our sport and make it grow. So thank you for that.
I know you definitely believed in us, so thank you.
Yeah. You helped us out with the podcast, so thank you very much. You definitely helped us get started and just make it grow even more.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering why the sport's growing, watch this podcast because it answers why.
Yeah, everyone we have on kind of just tells a different story of how things are going in the sport back in the day, now, and like it gets you rejuvenized to like get back flat after it and actually push this sport. But every episode we let the guests do a closing thought. What are your closing thoughts and things that you'd like to see accomplished this year going in the 2025 season?
I don't know if I can go with a joke or if I'll cross the line, but
Nope, you're good.
No.
Wide open. We're in the after hours now.
No, but this afternoon, Steven sent me a post saying that we need to go on Pornhub because Pornhub is more views on the same video than YouTube. So like, I think that for 2025, we need to go on Pornhub. And I just laughed so hard. And then we were just pitching names of who, we can put forward and just joking around with it.
Johnny Douche needs to come back.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's probably already on there.
But no, that was a joke, but for me 2025 will be just when you're climbing up, I don't want to be on top, like I find it dangerous when you're on top to go down fast. So I think it's to keep the team close, believe in the team, and make sure that we give the best that we can for the live stream. I think the live stream and the YouTube promotion and putting more videos on YouTube just to make sure that we get better, and then we can monetize it too, probably at the end of the day, because YouTube is actually something that we can monetize with the ads that you put on. So, and seeing you too, hopefully we'll see each other. Hopefully we'll work together. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to one winner at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be another great year, obviously, all around boat racing. And we appreciate you coming on Chasing Tails. And I'm sure you'll be back on with some new news sometime soon.
Yes, we'll have some Saturday that we will share. Keep in touch too. I mean, go on our social media. Saturday afternoon, I think we have a good announcement to do. Brendan's in part of it too. So yeah, good news coming up.
All right,
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you for
guys.
all you're
Thank
doing
you.
and being
Thank
on
you
tonight.
so much. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was a good one.
That was really good.
Honestly, yeah. If you're not excited about the sport of hydroplane racing after that, you might as well just go back and get some other thing to do. Maybe go out and do some golfing or something. But I
Pull
mean,
out your
honestly-
Atari because you're just stuck in the stone age.
Exactly. So did you hear them demographics? So I did want to say, but I wasn't going to push on it. That the Honda thing, you know, looks like the demographics are fitting right into. You need a newer motor.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it's done, so we stop talking about it every episode.
Yeah,
and then we can just promote it.
Yeah, literally.
We are promoting it. There's already people with Hondas in APBA. A third
about
of the
13.
class. A third of the class has Hondas in it. I mean, so if they don't pass the Honda this year, 2.5 stock is not the biggest class anymore. It dwindles down to like about 14 2.5 stocks maybe.
Spread across the entire country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think that's. I mean, obviously, we're pretty much at we started late. Did you see them people in the comments right off the bat saying we're starting late? I mean, we're chatting it up backstage. It's the backstage pass, y'all.
She's interesting. Sorry, we're trying to get some insider info before we talk.
I was about to. We had some good conversations going. I was about to hit the live and be like, "Oh, sorry, we were live like 5 minutes ago."
Dude, I'd vote for her for president, man.
Yep.
Oh hell yeah!
oh, she's
For
awesome.
sure.
She's
Get
she's
flat
definitely
after
really
it,
good
man.
for our sport.
Yeah, I like the get flat after it mentality. You're not going to tell me no if I believe that it's a good ideal, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the money if I need money, find the people if I need people.
Yeah.
If you need the
You
company,
gotta-
start the company.
You gotta clip that and put that
That's
on as a reel. That's a quote and a half right there.
I like when she said she went to Tri-Cities and she liked what she seen there, and I was like, yeah, you stole Brian Montgomery.
Yeah. I just temporarily borrowed him.
Eddie had a funny comment. He said they got the H1 and HRL have dual custody of them.
Yeah.
It's true though, but if you have the same people working for both sides, there's no the competition. And I'm gonna say it now because she's off and it's no longer HRL style. But I feel like we've seen it in the APBA inboard, and I hate the thing of, well, HRL did this. Like, why do I care? Look at what the product they put together. Look
Yeah.
at all these people working to better the sport. It's not about HRL APBA. Like, I think Corey Peabody said it the other day to me on the phone. Out of everyone in this North America and Canada, there's about 150 boats. Why are we, from unlimited down the T-boat, why are we working against each other?
Yeah.
Just continue to work together.
Everyone needs to work together. I mean, you work together, you'll grow together, right? If you don't work together, one might grow a little bit, the other one might grow a little bit. But if you're working together, you're going to grow quadruple as fast. I mean, you have more resources, you have more people, more boats, everything. I mean, look at the Honda. If we took this Honda and we did all the research for 2 years and did this and did that, we wouldn't have this engine in, because we're putting in the Honda right now. We wouldn't have a rule proposal in until 2026 or 2027.
Right.
And
for a different engine.
You can't get heads right now. So you would probably lose boats. I mean, or boats would slow down because you have to go to the Beauport head, which is slower. Don't tell me it's not, because...
Well, like we said earlier on the phone chatting, you got a guy. It's not every year someone enters the sport or enters the A class. You get some here and there, but like this year, Matt Sontag bought a boat. It's a really good boat, no motor. Where does he go? I mean, he can't go. Like, think of people like us, Ray Lynn, people that want to buy a brand new boat. They want to buy a brand new motor. You can't. You got to buy somebody else's stuff. Like, we have that motor for $4,000. Someone could go buy it.
I was talking to Monkey.
away.
From out west today, and he said, I said, our problem is, because I got a little frustrated with him over the week, so I called him today to smooth it over. Tell him I'm sorry. Didn't mean to get that frustrated. But we were talking, and, I was just like, Monkey, I can't go buy a head. I'm like, I know multiple boats that were needed a head over the summer. We couldn't get them. He goes, well, I have 3. And I'm like, Monkey, you might have 3, but you can't supply a whole class.
Right.
You can't supply the whole class. I'm like, with this Honda, you can call up, you can get online, and with 20 minutes, have everything delivered to your doorstep in 2 days.
Right.
I mean, the issue is he's an older gentleman. He is invested heavily in the Fords, so I understand. I understand his aspect and what he's trying to look at it, but at the same time, we're not trying to target 45 to 55 year olds to come in our sport. We're trying to target from 30 on down. I mean,
Right.
not even my age,
Well, look,
younger kids, because we need to bring the younger generation in to keep this sport going.
just look at Chasing Tails, that post I did about a rental boat. The amount of traction it gained. I mean, if I could afford it, I'd buy one now and put a Honda in it. Because
Yeah.
there's so many people that were like, oh, I'd love to try it. I'd love to go race. The boat school is great. Like, have that too. And maybe even have people go through that first. But, like, they want to race. That's not racing. So if you could throw them in a boat and it's a reliable motor that's going to last forever, you're not constantly rebuilding it or worried about the carburetor or anything like that. You just start it up and go. Like, that's how APBA inboard can grow and get people in, just like the Y boats did. It's like we got to just keep repeating things. Look at what HRL did to grow. They bought a few boats, then it started to grow. People bought their own boats, and now it's mostly members owning the boats. They don't own as many, and the sport's still growing up there. There's
one
every
GP
year.
that's HRL owned.
Right.
350s. I mean, there might be a few, but nowhere near as how many they owned, say, 5 years ago. But yeah, that rental boat. If we could find the funds to do it, I mean, maybe it's something that APBA can look into to get a rental boat. I mean, it would just get people to turn laps on a weekend and then maybe rent it again, or just say, I don't want to rent anymore. I want to invest in my own race team, and then they would go out and buy a boat, and then that's how we want it to work. We want to grow the sport, and we want people to get involved. And if the rental boat can get people behind the wheel to find out that they love it and get in the sport, that would be awesome to help the sport grow that way. And I think it's something that we need. So if you're listening and want to try to get involved, I mean, anywhere from a sponsor to maybe towing the boat around, I don't know. Let's try to get this whole rental boat thing going. I think it would work out a lot. I mean, probably be booked for 5 years.
Well, and like again I know people will be like, well, you could do it with 2300, but unfortunately they wear out. I mean, hell, we've had how many years in this sport and how many issues have we had with it? Like just little stupid things that, I mean, yes, the Honda's probably going to have those too, sensors failing, but hasn't shown really its face except for maybe once or twice.
It's the small stuff.
It's the small stuff, and so then you do that, and it can potentially be in 3 classes. There's no reason. We've talked to people about detuning it for a T-boat. So then you could run a T-boat, a Y-boat, an S-boat, and an A-boat. You could potentially put that boat out on the water 4 times throughout one set of heats, so 8 times a day. It could be with different drivers each time. Like, it's pretty simple. I know one of the comments was like, you're going to put a rookie out there with these veterans. I'm like, that's what we do anyway.
That's how I got started.
That's how we all start.
So I got started. We all got started that way. I mean,
so every
heck,
racer,
and SCCA, you got to go through a driving school. You got to take your boat there or your car there and do it. Dad failed. I mean, he's a good driver, but he failed. He had to go to Skip Barber. They passed him there. You pay for it, you get passed at Skip Barber.
But yeah, I think the rental boat would be really cool. But
So
the Honda and the rental boat would be ideal because halfway through the season, your Ford's already starting to lose power. I mean, I don't care what people say. Oh, we haven't rebuilt our thing in 2 years.
It's also just the maintenance, the full-on maintenance.
Yeah, the Honda. Someone up in HRL did a leak down on their Tremblay did a leak down on their engine, and it was at 4% leak down. Like after 3 years, I believe. You do a leak down on a Ford after the season, it's going to be in double digits.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like we said, the affordability of it's the biggest thing you got to try to work on. And that's where I think the rental boat program could be good. Get people that maybe they just want to go run it one weekend or 2 weekends or something instead of investing $30,000 into a boat. Just things like that to try. Obviously, like Janick said, if you believe in it enough, you're going to make it happen. So I feel like we will make it happen. It's Edgewood's the first weekend of May this year, not even on Mother's Day. So got me out of that one. I'll be there. Maybe we'll have a rental boat. Sorry, boys. If I can't come up with one by then, I might rent that shit out. But anyway, we got the APBA, obviously HRL Gala this weekend. That's going to be fun. We'll recap that on next Tuesday probably, and APBA's is the following weekend, right?
Yep. So it'll be interesting. All the HRL will announce all the changes that they have upcoming for next season. So we'll find that out. Talked about that next week, and then we're going to jump right back on this Honda next Tuesday.
Yeah. And then following
maybe
that,
some other rule. Go ahead, Austin.
I'll be down.
Speak up, bro.
I'll be down over in Reno, trying to update everyone as best as I can with whatever rule proposals, aka mostly the Honda.
Austin, I got a crazy idea for you.
What's that?
Take notes.
Oh, well,
just bring your camera.
The bad part.
We go live on Chasing Tails.
You guys don't know.
No,
I'm gonna be getting there
bring a
late
TV
Thursday, which is like probably right after they vote on the Honda. This flag is gonna be my cape. I'm having the Chasing Tails shirt on. I got the GoPro on the gimbal and microphones ready to go.
I've already get there.
Wait.
I'm scared. Heck yeah. that don't go well with the Honda, man.
Hey.
You need some Japan glasses.
Hey, Honda America also makes them.
Yeah.
I need you to get a 75-inch TV. Set it up in the IRC.
Preferably one that a bow and arrow didn't go through.
Yeah.
For sure.
Point your computer hooked up to the TV at everyone sitting in the IRC so they can see my face. And as they're voting, I can be like,
Yeah. I mean, we do.
Well,
We'll have to get someone somewhere to set up some live streaming.
Well, I'm telling you, we can do it right here on Chasing Tails. Got the platform. Just take your little webcam, give it to your mom,
got the account.
set it up.
She'll do it.
There we go. I mean, and that is one thing we've discussed, and that's going to come up in future episodes. Obviously, every organization is different. HRL, they have their board of directors. They make the decisions. We don't really influence anything. We ask, we get told no, or they're like, "Oh, that's a good idea. We're going to put it in." APBA Inboard's a membership-driven community. So nowadays, with these platforms, Zoom and all that, we can easily have a really, truly membership-driven community where you don't even have to go out to arena. The amount of money people spend, like if we fought for this rule, we fought way harder than anyone else has fought for a rule, right? But it could get shot down because we're not there to, if someone brings up a point, then it just gets done because we can't drop $1,000 or more to go out there. So I really think that's a push 2025 on. Try to revamp it. Try to renew it. That's it.
I mean, I honestly think nothing against the current IRC members or the inboard chairman or any of them right now. Just looking back, I was talking to someone today. I'm not going to name any names. 20 years, 30 years. That look how hard it is to get anything done in APBA with the IRC. It's just that there's too many people with different opinions.
Or the regions are just, they need totally different things. Like if you look at Region 10, some of the races have fans, but like when Hampton was great back in the day, there was 20,000, 30,000 fans there. We got to think about them, not just putting on a race.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to get anything done in boat racing these days. On the APBA side. I think it needs to go down to not so many IRC members. I think it needs to narrow it down to a smaller group and then let the commissioner have more of power, because right now the commissioner, all he does is just conduct the meetings.
Politics.
And that's it. And I really do think we need to give them more power. They're in there for a reason, not just the region, not just like the IRC is there because the region. The members are there because the region voted them in. But the inboard chairman, all of inboard voted that person in, and they don't really have that much power, which that's backwards if you ask me. I mean, that one person should have more power than anyone else sitting in that room. But we just need to figure out how to revamp the whole inboard, the IRC, the whole board.
Again, it's when you have organizations that work together, and like Janick said earlier, you go to different places and see what they're doing different. Both, you have all these things. GPA is a set board. There's like 3 or 4 people on there. HRL, they have their board of directors. H1 now has their new group and has always had just board of directors. And APB inboard's the only one that has 25 people to make decisions, right? Or whatever it is.
No, I think it's like
14,
14, 15,
I always
something
over
like
embellish numbers, especially like 8 inches.
But yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I think that really needs to change. Go back to Tony Scartine, where it was one person made decisions. It's either you make a decision, you try it, and if you fail, well, then you go back and then try to rethink it. I mean, it's not the end of the world to take a step.
The rule book's now digital. It's not even printed anymore. Yeah, you can change that thing in a week.
Because if you don't, everyone's afraid of taking a step. But if you never take a step, you're never going to try to get the sport in the right direction or to grow. You got to make it easier to take these steps to try new things. And hopefully someone's listening and we can try to band together and try to get something going to make these steps easier to try to change for the future of the sport.
Yes, sir.
That's my rant for this episode.
I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, guys. I think we're at the end of this episode. You guys got any closing thoughts? Austin, go first.
I think we broke our not talk for an hour after thing. Well, not quite an hour,
bro.
Man, it's only been 20 minutes. See, we started late, so the timing's really out of whack right now.
We're not late. TJ's is early.
We've only been live for 146.
No, I would say
Austin, finish your
Janick is doing a great job really narrowing down who we need to be targeting, and other than that, just tailoring for the different demographics and people that make up our fan base, and we need to do more of that. So
I gotta go up to Valleyfield. She said she's going to interview me for a job.
There you go.
I'm gonna get it.
It's cold up there. I ain't going up there.
Yeah,
all right, Kyle,
now.
what's your closing thoughts?
Yeah, Janick's the bomb. I mean, like I said earlier, like if you want to know what made that series grow, like her and her team, just listen to them talk about some of the different things that they did along the way. Just that the no is not an answer mentality. We need more of that in the sport, and obviously they're doing a good job of having that mentality, but also doing things that make sense and have proven results.
For sure. All right, Bobby.
Go Lions.
Right.
Let the Lions take care of what Tampa Bay couldn't.
Right, no doubt. Only Tampa Bay way to be on a doinked field goal.
All right. So what episode are we on?
35.
35, man. Go TK.
We should have had Ronnie on.
I know, we should have.
But after watching him try to work that Zoom the other night, he ain't getting on his podcast.
That was hilarious on that call. He's like, what rule did I put in? Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, we got boat racing to watch this weekend. New Zealand's running. Andrew Tate's over there to take on them New Zealanders. He's got Jack Lupton's motor and Jack Lupton's old boat, and we're going to see what he's got. Yep. Obviously, Ken's fast. David Alexander's fast. Man, they got a good series down there. I'm excited to watch it. So I think that's going to be on while we're at the gala. The gala is going to be great. You got the Lions game on at the gala. Whoa.
There you go. Busy
Saturday
and
night.
then you also have, it's our winter, so, south of the equator, all the boat racing's kicking up. You have Australia. They were racing over the weekend. Then you have the New Zealand going this coming weekend. So it gives us something to watch and get excited for. So good luck to everyone racing there. wish them all the best. Hopefully no one blows an engine and Huey doesn't have to complain about it. Huey, stay off Facebook, man. Let people go have fun. Stay off Facebook.
I did ask Jack. I said, Jack, man, if you could get a couple of you guys and maybe talk Tater into getting on here after the first event. So never know, they might stop by, maybe be on the farm. Jack seems to like to ride cows, so he might be up on top of that cow and giddy up. But that's it,
All right.
folks. Go ahead, Bobby. You want to
All
take
right,
us out of
guys.
here? I got
This
the
is
ending
episode
button ready.
35. We just had a great episode. Thank you to Janick coming on and telling us all the exciting things and how the sport is growing. We definitely needed her for our sport, for our podcast. So this is episode 35. See you next Tuesday.
See.